Good to see everybody here on this great Thursday time, or unless you're in another part of the planet, it could be Friday. So our usual process is a three-part process. My name is Joseph Lucier for our healing audience. Tongren practitioner, we're using Tongren Distance healing, which is distance healing, and our goal is very simple: to open a bioelectrical blockage, or basically resistance, in the central nervous system, primarily on the spine. And we have people texting us in. We're going to work with Drew first, blood flow to the brain. And we have our Instagram, Facebook, so many places. Blood flow to the brain. So if everyone would sit, relax with your feet flat on the floor, palms face up. And how is Augustina doing? Hopefully she's doing well. Blood flow to the brain. So we do a systemic, holistic boost of all the systems of the body so that everything is enhanced and strengthened in the body. Then the body, which is the greatest resource, can heal and reverse disease. Command points of the brain and command points of the brain stem. So we want to work on all the areas of the brain for Augustina and for Drew. Special request for brain work. Hello, Eric. Nice to see you. Command points of the brain stem for circulation, and everyone will get the benefit. So we'll put this a little bit more in front so that you'll be seeing me this way from Instagram. So our main focus, blood flow, nerve flow of the spine. And also a request for thrush, so C1 to C7 for Drew. It's good to see everyone. Welcome to our community. So for brain, all the brain things for Augustina as well as Drew. Sky window, carotid artery, facial artery, vertebral artery, and occipital arteries. So we want to oxygenate the brain. So let me know how she's doing. The brain stem tumor. Anything dealing with the brain, you can have a bowl of steam with a towel and inhale, adding a few drops of lavender for the microbiome of the brain itself. So let's work directly on the brain stem for Augustina and for Drew. And for the throat and thrush. See 4, 5, 6, and 7 for Drew. Hello, Lauren. Augustina has been okay this week. Castor oil massage as you recommended. Great. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So let's do oxygenation for Augustina and for Drew. So the phrenic nerve and the diaphragm, CV17. Something really important, I think, for Augustina is craniosacral fluid. Which is the immune system for the spine and the brain. So we start with the sphenoid bone. It's a circulation of fluid that goes from the brain to the tailbone. And we'll work on this again for perfect blood. Sphenoid bone to T1, the bones, and then the tailbone 1 to 4. So we want that flow from the brain to the tailbone for Augustina and for Drew. And the microbiome for Candida, T11, T12, L4, L5. And welcome Dorothy and all the other folks. Happy Mama coming up. Blue Sky, Grateful, Chatter. Great names we have. And we do grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So any people out there work with horses? There's now a person, that's her thing, focuses on horses. Seems to have a real gift, relationship with healing for horses. So we'll continue to work on different areas to support Augustina, and we'll work with Lauren Fazio. And next we have also Blue Sky, blood flow to the brain, relaxed mind. So there are a couple of things you can do. GB13, gallbladder 13, right side, and the in-tongue, the third eye, connecting to our true selves, relaxation by connection to faith and our spiritual selves. So GB13, in-tongue, command points of the brain, command points of the brain stem, and yes, Esther, I got your requests. Thank you for joining. Good luck with that long drive. See how that goes. See if it's easier to have something under your feet to raise your knees a little bit. Different things. Maybe some heat, a heat pad for the trip. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for a strong immune system for Isaac, including T3 lungs for the dad. T3 for the lungs. Relaxed mind for the family. PB13 again, in Tong. And hello, Pat. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. T3 for the lungs. Lung 1, lung 2. Chinese medicine also for the lungs. And we have right side sciatic, so we do blood flow and nerve flow. T7 right side, the abdominal aorta. Lumbosacral plexus for the sciatic, the source of the nerves. And then GB39, 29 rather, there's a corner like an intersection of 3 points right on the gluteus area. Famous point for sciatic. And then trace the sciatic right side down the leg to the feet. Better. And then grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1 for the relaxed mind also. Liver 3 for the relaxed mind and kidney 1 for grounding and the relaxed mind as well. So next we work on macular degeneration for Catherine and Dorothy, and then we'll work on stage 4 renal cell cancer. So blood flow to the brain, and after that, happy mama. And yes, Lauren, we will work on all that. Do you have some other requests? Make sure we have everybody covered. Blood flow to the brain. So let's talk about the eyes. There's a master Go, G-O. He has specific eye Qigongs, using your hands, palming, and different things, which I think are good options for also helping with the eyes. Probably the optic nerve as well, if virus here. So macular degeneration. So let's work on so many things related to the eyes. So facial artery, blood flow, nerve flow. Ouch point on the eyes. Blood pressure to the eyes, GV17, governing vessel 17. And we have from Catherine, you're doing Donna Eden exercise, energy exercise for the eyes. Yep, I've heard good things about Donna Eden and Master Go, who is a world-class martial artist, actually. I'll be doing some of those myself because I was told yesterday that there are some Qigongs, and we'll see, we'll experiment, that are good for floaters, the eyes, computer eyes, tired eyes. He's actually got a Qigong for almost anything. And they just make a lot of sense, just get Qi in your hands, bioelectricity, and then just put your hands over your eyes. But I'd like to hear more about what Donna Eden is doing. Is that more through consciousness and focus and energy and working with emotions and feelings? I'm curious. So let's continue with the eyes. As we said, facial artery, carotid artery, vertebral artery, trigeminal nerve, anything related to the eyes, GV17 for blood pressure, circulation to the eyes, and the specific nerves for the eyes, C3, C4. So everything possible for the eyes, macular degeneration, wet left eye. Let's really get more on the left eye there for you. And again, C3, left side for the nerves, for the eyes. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation for any situation. And the eyes are connected to the liver, so T9, right side. So let's continue on, and that will be grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. So next we work with stage 4 renal cancer as well as Qi imperfect blood. And next we will work with Esther, blood flow to the brain. So let's work on blood, bone marrow, craniosacral fluid for perfect blood and lymph. And then after that, we will do a complete lymph tune-up. And you have a note here, Lauren, lymph drainage. So one of the best things you can do for lymph drainage, well, there's a few things. One is skin brushing. Number 2 is rebounding. And number 3 is castor oil packs on the belly, just below the belly button. It pulls in and increases lymph circulation throughout the whole body, lymph drainage technique that way as well. Blood flow to the brain. Command points to the brain, command points to the brain stem. Lymph drainage massage is also an option. So we're working on perfect blood. So T1, T1, T1. spleen, blood backup. T7, left side. So T1, spleen, T7, GB39. So those are all the master points for blood and bone marrow, which produces the blood cells. The spleen is the reserve, the reservoir of blood cells, backup. So now for the perfect blood and healing chi, craniosacral fluid, GB789, traveling through T1, craniosacral fluid down the spine, tailbone 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tailbone 1 to 4, perfect blood. And then grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Next, we're going to be working with renal cell cancer, renal kidneys. So right now for everyone, including renal cell cancer, everyone, a lymph tune-up. So that's T3 for the lymph. So one of the best things to accelerate and amplify lymph drainage and lymph movement is castor oil packs. Company I recommend, there are two. One is Lulu's Naturals, and the other one is queenofthethrones.com. They both have done their homework. They're really good. T3 for the lymph, largest lymph node, T7 left side, the spleen. And then the actual lymph drainage network. The armpits, make sure that you can see me. Axillary lymph. Inguinal lymph. Pelvic lymph. CV4, the Peyer's patches lymph area. And then up the lymphatic duct to the subclavian artery to release to the liver and the kidneys. And then grounding. So 2 parts for the renal cell cancer. One is the oxygen, phrenic nerve to the diaphragm. Oxygen, oxygen, oxygen for every cancer person there, including the esophageal cancer. For Fran D. There's a way that you can oxygenate your entire esophagus. It's a ozone therapy, harmless, releases oxygen singlets into the body for the entire digestive tract. Alkalizes, oxygenates, so that's part 1 for the North Carolina, Tom. For your brother, Tom. Lee, Les says hello. Let's work on that. So let's work on the kidney area. So blood flow and nerve flow for the kidneys. The renal cell cancer. T7 right side. Lumbosacral, the nerves to the kidneys. And the kidneys themselves. L2. So let's work on relaxation for Lauren, tight neck and lymph, and we also have tight neck and neck pain for Fran D. So let's give everyone a neck tune-up, and including Esther for the left hip, bladder, TBI, blood flow to the brain. And then Eric will be working with you next. Blood flow to the brain. Command points of the brain. Basically, these are initialization points which enhance the Tongren therapy by initializing the endocrine system and the bioelectrical system of the entire body, the hypothalamus and pituitary and sensory cortex, motor cortex, all that bioelectrical communication. And then we work on the brain stem area, GB17. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So relaxation, GB13. So everyone take a deep breath through your nose. And we're going to do a relaxation breathing exercises. Everybody listening? Everybody ready? So you're going to breathe through your nose, and I'm going to count for the inhales, exhales, and holding 3 parts. So if anybody's interested, just sit and relax, breathe through your nose, and you're going to breathe in starting now. Breathe in, count 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through the nose, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hold your breath for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe again and relax. That's a relaxation response. And GB13 for more relaxation and the neck. So let's do a big neck tune-up for everyone. So number 1, the shoulder relaxation point. Gallbladder 21, right in the center, the high point of the shoulders on both sides. If you're pregnant, don't watch right now. This is contraindicated for anyone that is pregnant. So the shoulder, the trapezius muscle, the insertion right along the skull. And yes, we have a 15-minute consultation coming up, LB and Laxmi. That'd be great. If you have any specific questions on the information I gave you in advance, I can start to research that. And we will work with the esophageal cancer next as well. But the neck pain, shoulders, sky window, SCM area for the neck, the muscles in the cervical, next to the cervical spine area. So breathe in through the nose and exhale through the nose and release the stress and put it in the corner of the room. C1 to C7, and the nerves for the shoulders, brachial plexus, C6, C7, T1, T2. And we did a complete lymph drainage, and we'll do that again before we finish. Another complete lymph drainage. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. T8 for esophagus, esophageal cancer. Again, oxygen, phrenic nerve, CV17, oxygen. And work on CV17, CV12 for the esophagus. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So yoga is good for the neck. So next we continue to work with Esther, left hip, bladder, and TBI. So blood flow to the brain for the TBI, traumatic brain injury. And hello, Pat, Lois. Command points to the brain, GB 19, 20, 21, 22. Command points to the brain stem, GB 17. Give a real boost for your long ride. T7, 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 the brachial plexus for the shoulders and lumbosacral plexus for the legs. Include your sun, Esther, facial tingling. And Faris, thank you for giving the name of your mom. So for the bladder, for Esther, S1 to S5. And let's also work on the facial tingling, facial artery, facial nerve. Definitely check on the cervical areas if there's any injury or compression. Check the B12 levels. 3 things for nerves and nerve tingling: B12, B complex, and alpha lipoic acid. And grounding liver 3 and kidney 1, CB4 extra boost for your drive, Esther. And then also for the facial area. Let's work on the ouch point of the face. Blood flow, facial artery, carotid artery, vertebral artery for the face, but especially the nerves, C1 to C7. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And grounding liver 3 and kidney 1. Gallstones. I have an extra circle on the gallstones for Catherine. We'll include that now. I missed that before. I circled it to remember, but then it was separated. So let's work on that. So blood flow to the brain, and we're also going to work on all of the optic nerve atrophy areas. Blood flow to the brain. High blood pressure, high pressure. Command points to the brain. Command points to the brain stem. GV17 for high pressure. Work on the eyes, but the optic nerve. 22, 23, GV 22, 23, 24 area. Master Go, G-O, I think it's either G-O or G-O-H. Yes, some eye Qigong exercises. And again, GV17 for the pressure for the eyes. And for less, we will work on the shingles. Absolutely. vertebral artery to the spinal artery. And for seborrheic keratosis, a few things you can do: clay poultices or clay. Put some clay, frankincense under a Band-Aid and leave it on the areas that you want to work on. Another option is to skin recovery spray by Dr. Wheatgrass, which is another great option. And for gum disease, it's getting more popular. They have gummies with oral microbiome probiotics, which you can chew as a gummy and then do that. The other thing for gum disease, which is excellent, is coconut oil pulling or coconut swishing oil pulling technique, where you leave coconut oil in your mouth. It will help very much to fix up the gum issues. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Shingles, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. How's everybody doing so far? T1, 2, 3, 4. 4 for the skin, seborrheic keratosis. And we'll also work on the shingles for less, and right hip discomfort, and gum disease for intrigued settler. See 3, 4, 5 for the gums. Great, Pat. Great to hear from you. And Scott, good to see you. We will make time. Yep, we got plenty of time. How's the dermatitis doing? So, brachial plexus of the shoulders, T7 right side for blood flow to the right hip area, then the lumbosacral plexus for the right hip area, the ouch point on the right hip, discomfort. Hello, Genevieve. Good to see you. Uncle Arthur, kidney cancer, yes. So T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the shingles, T4 for the skin. Oftentimes shingles is misdiagnosed Epstein-Barr virus. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation, antiviral, antibacterial protocol. Spleen, lymph system. And grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. Yep, things like frankincense oil or frankincense oil with clay. Definitely for everyone, lymph drainage through the belly or the liver, different things like that. And next we have Carol and then Grateful Person. CML, bloods and lymph nodes, healthy and more energy lymph nodes. Definitely lymph drainage through skin brushing or rebounding or castor oil packs. 3 things which are really good. Along with, of course, Tongren. Lots of lymph drainage. I guess that's how it works. Blood flow to the brain. Brain command points. Brain stem command points. So we work on the blood specific, the bone marrow, T1 for the bones. GB39 for the bones. Craniosacral fluid for the bones. And bone marrow and CML, GB789. Tailbone 1 to 4. And then grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And welcome, Dorothy. Good to see you. How's the lighting on Instagram? Because for me, it's a little dim, and I'm wondering if it's... Blood flow to the brain. And Dorothy, yep, we will work for bone density, of course, absolutely. So see blood flow to the brain, and then see 1, 2, and 3, and the right shoulder down, including the elbow. So that's the brachial plexus nerves. And we worked on the blood cells, the craniosacral, bone marrow points, right shoulder ouch points. So brachial plexus to the elbow. Let's do that again. Brachial plexus down to the elbow. Work on the scapular area, which is where tightness can pull the nerves as well. So we'll do that on both sides as well for Carol. Okay, looks fine to you. Must be just my phone toning down so we can read the text. So that's good. Good text. I like the icons, the graphics. That's great. Because when I look at myself, I'm in the dark. No pun intended. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And grounding, and let's see, what was that request? Bone density. Okay. Well, let's work on. So bones, bone density, it's all good. So we're going to work on Uncle Arthur. And for Scott, overall dermatitis is better. So let's keep working on that for Scott. So we're going to work on Uncle Arthur, kidney cancer, blood flow to the brain. Command points to the brain. Command points to the brain stem. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. So any itis, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, but especially T4 for the skin. So let's continue. Repeat that. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for Scott. T4 for the skin. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for dermatitis. And T7 spleen and abdominal blood and kidney, L2. So for the delayed sleep phase syndrome, is that getting any better or the same? L1, L2 for the kidneys. And bladder 54, which also supports the kidneys. Grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. So for kind guest, hormone balancing, very dehydrated and fatigued from urinating constantly. Okay. So we need to work on the bladder, blood flow to the brain. So what's causing the constant urination? If the hydration and is not being absorbed, we want to work on the microbiome as well. Michael and Tracy, good to see you. Yep, surgery. I think we talked about it before, but if you put a castor oil pack on the hip, it's better. It's been known pre-surgical benefits. Castor oil pack on the target area reduces inflammation, helps with the surgery areas. So for you on the hip area, blood flow to the brain. Pituitary, which manages hydration. Yin-Tang for the sleep phase syndrome. So we want to reduce inflammation for the surgery coming up. ADH hormones, pituitary, master gland, adrenals, hormone balancing. And then for the constant urinating, T7 blood flow, S1 to S5 for the bladder area. Well, the circadian rhythm is a rhythm, so let's work on another rhythm, craniosacral fluid rhythm. GB789, tailbone 1 to 4. So for kind guests, Michael and Tracy, T7 right side, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, arthritis. Coughing area, C5, 6, and 7. T3 for the lungs. Lumbosacral for the hips and the right hip specifically. Peace and positivity along with healing for pain. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Next we'll work on bone marrow. Bone density, okay. So blood flow to the brain. Delayed sleep phase syndrome is the same. I'm sure you've tried melatonins. There are some other things as well. Sleep with a tone. There are specific frequencies that can help you to correct different phases. You have the word phase here, sleep phase of specific frequencies. You can even get them from YouTube. Look up specific ones for sleeping. Otherwise, there is a PEMF device specifically for sleep, which again regulates and corrects the frequencies of sleep. PEMF, I think it's called quantum PEMF. There are so many of them, but if you email me, I can look it up for you if you remind me. And we have a couple more, and here we go. Dental local, right lung. I would definitely do a castor oil pack on the lungs for sure. Alternate lungs, belly, lungs, belly, lungs, belly. Always consult a doctor with all of my recommendations. And let's work on bone density, right lung tumor, and arthritis in the right thumb. For Genevieve, absolutely. Blood flow to the brain. Glad to hear you're overall better, Scott. We'll keep working on this stuff. We've been talking a lot about lymph drainage, which will help, can also help your skin. I would do a lymph drainage basic protocol on the abdomen area to accelerate the lymph detoxing of the skin of the whole body. That would be a good option. There's a couple of good companies. Blood flow to the brain. So, oxygenation for cancers. Phrenic nerve, CV17. For bone density, there's a good product. It looks really good. It's called Grow Bone by a really good company. Also some good herbs, herbs, Cissus quadrangularis, which is a specific bone density improvement herb. Those are some things you can do for the bones. But we will work on the bones, T1, T3 for the right lung, T5 for the heart, so T3, 4, and 5 for your husband, John. brachial plexus for the right thumb. Arthritis, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. I would definitely put maybe some castor oil around the thumb, or I would put, clay. Put some clay around the thumb overnight. And that would probably actually help it quite a bit. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the arthritis. T3 for the lungs. Lung 1, lung 2 for the lungs. So for anyone that uses castor oil, it does accelerate the lymph drainage. My recommendation in the 2-part process to also use clay. And we get the bone density continue, T1 for the bones, GB39 for the bones, kidney for the bones, Chinese for the bones, and grounding for everyone. The ouch point for less, just below the ribs, shingles area, rib area, and grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So we do a little bit of Qigong for everyone. We'll do CV17, equivalent of the heart chakra, right here, and charge the battery for everyone. Hope you all had a good time. Let's give a little extra chi for the eyes. Breathe into your eyes, close your eyes, breathe into the eyes. Even if you're breathing and thinking about someone else, for their eyes. And also for the bones, bone density, bone marrow, all of those things, T1. There are even castor oil packs for the eyes. Definitely consult an expert or a doctor for that. I've never done it, but I've read about it. It looks like it makes a lot of sense. And grounding. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone for joining. See you next time. Keep our community together. Power in numbers. Be kind to one another. Take care. Allow the energy to continue to flow. Eat well, be well. Ideally whole foods, whole life philosophy. Thanks very much and have a great day.